Hello there, Capricorn. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot forecast. This forecast is for the month of February. I am going to break this month down into two parts. So the first thing that we're going to look at is February the 1st through the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. And then after that, we will look at February 15th through the 28th. So for right now, we're just going to put down cards for the first half of February. Those of you who are here to check on the Capricorn that you care about, in other words, a cross watcher, feel free to be here. You are welcome. However, you need to know that energies do not cross over here. This is a reading that is for Capricorn and about Capricorn. If you want to find a reading that talks about you, then you want to check out your own sun sign, moon sign, or rising sign. But this is not going to be about you. It's about Capricorn. Okay? So, let's finish getting the cards down here, see what comes up for the first half of February for all my lovely Capricorn people. Okay, guys, we have your environment as what I'm going to look at first since your cards are down. What do we have coming up here? So it looks to me like you really like the environment that you're in. And when we're talking about environment, this is anything, any place where you've got energy or effort invested. So many times it's home, but sometimes it's school, sometimes it's work. You want to be kind of open in your mind about where this environment might be for you. But it looks to me like you really do like your environment. You're happy about the environment, but there is a fly in the ointment here, and that is that being in the environment, even though you like it, does leave you open to interacting with somebody who is not very truthful about things. And there's somebody who can be very moody as well. So you've got somebody that may have bipolar issues is what I'm hearing. And also they're not really truthful. So you can't really trust what they're saying whenever they're talking to you. You almost have to go and try and verify if what they're saying is true or not before you take any action on any kind of facts or information that come from this person. Next thing that we're looking at, Capricorns, talk to me about your subconscious leanings. Okay, Capricorns, it looks like there is something going on with somebody in your sphere of influence who would be either a fire sign, sun sign, or rising sign. Not everybody even knows their own rising sign, much less their friends and family's rising signs. So what I'm going to say is that this is somebody who is very self-sufficient, very independent-minded. This is somebody who likes to be able to do the things that she wants on her own. And this is somebody who feels very strongly about the things that she's doing. And for most of you, yes, this is going to be a female. That's why I'm saying she, although I'm not going to lock in on a gender in a general reading. And I feel like there's something going on with this person where she is experiencing some kind of heartache or heartbreak. And I think you're really focused on, in your subconscious leanings, you're really focused on understanding why this, whatever this situation is that's making her feel heartbroken, you're really focused in on understanding why. What is the big heartbreak here? So like if this is a young person in your life, like a teenager, early 20s something, and their boyfriend or their girlfriend broke up with them and they're heartbroken, I think you're going, you know what, that was no loss. What's the sadness for? They made you miserable anyway. I really think that you're just trying hard to understand where they're coming from and why are they so heartbroken. That's what's going on in your subconscious. And you're really focused on it too. So apparently this is somebody who is, pretty important to you that you're concerned about. All right, we're looking next at learning style and then communication style for this particular time frame. I do feel like there's something that you have some knowledge about already and you're adding more knowledge. I think this is knowledge that you're adding in a very organized fashion. So this could be that you're doing some kind of class or course, or it could be that, you've kind of got, even if this is self-directed study, you've kind of got ideas about, what order you want to learn different facets of this thing in. And so I feel like you're adding to that information already. I also feel like there are some things that you're learning about that I don't think you were expecting to learn about. It kind of comes up very suddenly. And I think actually you're enjoying learning about these things. And it has to do with creativity. It has to do with colors. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say there. And then also, as far as learning style, I think you are um, really paying attention to the universe and the gifts that the universe brings. And I think you're sort of studying what you can do to encourage the universe to bring you gifts. So basically, you're learning manifestation or law of attraction. Now, looking at your communication style. I think there's something going on where you're having a change of perspective, and so your communication is changing partway through this particular time frame, Capricorn. So where you might have been saying one thing at the beginning of this time frame, once you get to the end of this time frame, I think that has slanted or gone in a little bit of a different direction, maybe a big different direction. I don't feel like it's 180 different, but a noticeably different direction. Now this is really interesting. What am I seeing here? I feel like there's somebody in your sphere of influence that you're not really talking directly to them about a particular thing. You normally talk directly to them, but there's someone in your sphere of influence that you're dropping hints to. You're not giving them the full picture about something. You're dropping hints. Maybe you're getting them a birthday gift and you're dropping hints about the birthday gift. Or maybe you know that somebody has a delightful surprise planned for them. And so you're just kind of dropping hints to see if they figure out or pick up on that. What else do we have for communication style? I do think that there's somebody in your life that is kind of going through something, going through a situation. And I think that this is not a new situation to you. I think you've been through something similar before. And I think you're offering pearls of wisdom to them. You're offering this information that you have learned the hard way. And I think that for some of you, this other person is going to be glad to have that information and able to use it and incorporate it in their lives. And for others of you, I think that your person is the person that we're talking about is more shut down about finding a solution. They're more in the mode of, this is just terrible and I just don't know what to do about it. And so if you give them an idea what to do about it, no, that goes against their story. Their story is they don't know what to do about it, so they're not going to grab onto your idea. They're not at a point yet where they're really looking for solutions. They're still at a point where they're in pity party mode, and, heaven forbid you break up the pity party early. We all know people like that. You know who I'm talking about. So for some of you, you've got that going on. For others of you, you do have people that, they're eager to take that information and do something with it. They want a solution. They want to move forward. They're not all wrapped up in pity party. All right. So next thing that we're looking at here, Capricorn, is about work. Work is definitely changing during this time frame. It seems to me like everything that felt solid to you about work is turning completely upside down during this time frame. And I think it's leaving you feeling like, oh my gosh, how do I bring in income? What do I have to do now? What new skills do I have to learn? And it's interesting because there's somebody showing up here that is helping you through this transitionary time. I don't feel like you're losing your job. I just feel like your job is changing. Maybe they're bringing in new machinery, or maybe somebody wants a new technique or a new software, to accomplish what you've always done before. But you've got somebody in here who's really, really smart, who is able to help you to make this transition so that you can get to the point where you're all caught up and you're not feeling like, you're all caught up to speed on the information that you need, and you're not feeling like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to be doing now? So you've got somebody in there that's helping, that's training, that's sort of showing you the ropes, I guess, if you will. All right. Next thing that we're looking at, Capricorn, talks to me about that part of your personality, which is being grown or expanded right now. It looks like there are some things happening around you. Now, usually I see this as a decision, but I don't so much. I see this as there are some circumstances around you that as they have come down, they just haven't been fair. They've been, there's just uh, a series of unfortunate events, basically, is what I want to call it, that has really impacted some of the partnerships that you have right now. And it's kind of thrown those partnerships off. There could have been some things that have happened that have put you in a position to where you can't do your part of whatever the partnerships were. And so these partnerships are just coming off track. They're not able to reach their goals right now. And like I said, I think this is because of a series of unfortunate events. And it looks to me like it's kind of getting to you. It's making you feel a little bit negative and down and like, I just don't have the solution here. So, why do we get readings ahead of time? Because if we see something that we don't like, guess what we can do? We can change that. All right? And so that's what I really want you to do. You've got free will. You can change anything that shows up on my table. You can change it with free will. Okay? And what I'm seeing here with this whole, letting this series of unfortunate events get to you to where you can't perform in the partnerships that you've had and to where you're feeling bad. If you notice that energy coming in, start coming up with some backup plans. Start, you've got this heads up that people who don't watch these videos don't get. So start coming up with some backup plans. Start coming up with some ideas and some alternative solutions that could accomplish what you need to accomplish. And then also notice, like if you start noticing yourself coming into this mind frame of, I just don't know the solution here, you don't want to focus on the problem. You want to focus on what the solution would be to the problem so that you can allow that solution to come into your mind, so that you can allow the bits and pieces of that solution to come to you so you can move forward with it. It's really important not to stay focused on this problem is so big. I just don't know what to do with it. This problem is so big. There's no way to get over this. I just can't imagine this problem is so huge. This just shuts me down. You don't want to focus on that. You want to be looking at, okay, so this is a challenge. How do I overcome this challenge? If I was to get past this, what would be the best way for me to do that? And you just want to start brainstorming in a positive way. Okay? That's going to be how you change how this pans out on the table. Okay? Excuse me for a minute, Capricorns. Sorry about that, Capricorn. So next thing that we're going to look at talks to me about those things that you stand for or that you defend. So this is going to be something that somebody wants to talk to you about. They want an explanation. Maybe they even confront you about this thing. So what is it that they're confronting you about? So it looks like you went through a point in time where you were feeling really confused, Capricorn. And I think you were feeling really confused about the idea of love and how much you care about somebody and whether or not you actually want to collaborate with that person or get together with that person on something. And so I think once you've explained this situation to this person who's confronted you or who asked for the explanation, they see you as somebody that you decided to continue on your path that you were already on as an individual, not getting together with somebody else on that path and really making some changes for yourself as you do that. So this tells me that basically what they're seeing is that you decided rather than get together with somebody, what was more important for you was spiritual growth is pretty much what they're seeing, whether they're going to call it that or know that, but that's what that looks like to me. Okay? So now let's look at your flex period. Now this is the time frame where something happens that changes your perspective, which changes your trajectory in life. So this is why I call this your flex period. So there's something that is coming to an end, but even though it's come to an end, I think that you're still waiting. You're still waiting to see, okay, is this really over? Or is this going to be an opportunity or a person? In most cases, I think this is a person that actually comes back around again. So even though something is coming to an end, I don't see you moving forward with something new. I just see you kind of waiting to see, okay, what's going to happen next? Is this really over? Is pretty much what I hear you saying here. It looks to me like at the same time that this is happening, you're recognizing that this situation has been toxic. But even though it's been toxic, you've still found it really fulfilling. And, you carry a lot of responsibilities in this situation. I think as you're waiting to see if this is really over, I don't think you've laid down those responsibilities. I think you're still carrying some responsibilities for this other person. And it makes you feel fulfilled. I think it makes you feel like they're going to come back if I keep doing these things. And so also at the same time, I feel like this person is telling you that, no, this is really over. Like you need to accept that this is really over. And I think what's going on here is that I think that you're hearing what they're saying, but you're not believing them. And I think that you're not holding it against them that they're calling it over. You're sort of going, well, yeah, I can see why they would say that because of this pressure or that pressure or this insecurity or whatever. But I know it's not really over. So I really feel like this person is trying to be straight with you. And you're just not accepting what it is that they're saying. You're thinking, you know what? I've got ideas about how we can get this started again. I don't know if you're saying that to this person or if you're just thinking it inside yourself, like, yeah, okay, I'll play along with your game. You say it's over. Okay, it's over. Meanwhile, I know that if I do this or that or the other, then, you'll be back. That's kind of what I'm seeing there. Some kind of, just not really, not giving up. Let's put it that way. Okay? So I want to look at where you are at the end of this particular time period, Capricorn. I do see you being really happy. I think you're doing some things that make you happy. You're doing some things that make you feel fulfilled. And I do see that you are very dedicated to the idea of keeping the hope alive, keeping the expectation alive of whatever this is, whatever relationship this is. You're definitely dedicated to keeping the hope alive for that relationship. And you may even be doing some writing. You may be doing some scripting or writing out expectations about this. But I think that you are very determinedly holding on to this relationship, whether it's a love relationship or a friendship or whatever this is. I feel like even though you're hearing somebody say this is over, you're definitely not at a place where you're ready to let it go whenever I'm seeing all of this on the table, Capricorn. So that's what we have for the first part of the month. I'm going to take a little break. I'll come back and then we'll look at the second part. See you soon. Hi there, Capricorn. Welcome back. This time we're looking at February the 15th through the 28th. Let's see what comes up for you. Okay, Capricorns, cards are on the table. Let's see what we have showing up. The first thing that we're looking at is your environment during this time frame. It looks like you are sharing your environment with somebody, and I think that you and this other person get along very, very well. And it looks like things are pretty solid in the environment. Things are stable. Things are reliable. Um, there's some other stuff coming up about this environment, and I'm just looking for the right words to explain this. For some of you, I think that if you're sharing this environment with somebody, if this is a romantic partner, I think you guys get along really well and everything's really stable, but I don't think you're the person that this romantic partner is in love with. I hate to bring something like that out, but it's right here in front of me, and I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't share it. And of course, this is a general reading, so not everything's going to apply to everyone. Just most of it will apply to most of you. Okay? Excuse me for a second. Sorry about that, Capricorn. So the next thing that we're looking at talks to me about your subconscious leanings. So subconsciously, what are you considering here? What are you thinking about? It seems like there's been some kind of dishonesty that somebody has given you and that you bought for a while. But I think that the truth has come out about this dishonesty. And I think that there's somebody involved in this situation, somebody who is very well grounded. I kind of feel like they have the wisdom of the world. So this could even be like a father or a grandfather, or this could just be, somebody who's a friend or a mentor. But this is somebody who is basically, you've made them a trusted advisor. And I think that this person is sort of helping you as you're reconstructing things and as you're putting in your mind, okay, how can I make things better after dealing with this illusion or this basic lie that somebody told me? So your subconscious is really working on, okay, this person over here that seems to be helpful is saying some things to me that help me move forward, but I think that you're taking the time to really think that over in your subconscious, because you're still processing the idea that what you were told over here just isn't freaking true. It's just a lie, and trying to figure out how to rebuild after that, because I think that finding out that whatever this was is not true is something that's really stunning for you. I think it takes you definitely by surprise. Next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about two different things. First of all, we're going to look at your learning style during this time frame, and then after that, we'll look at your communication style. I feel like there's something that you would like to have more information on. You do have some information. You would like to have more, and I feel like you're having a hard time really digging up the other information that you would like to have so that you have a better understanding of whatever this is. I do feel like there is somebody in your sphere of influence that, and I feel like this is a different topic, but you're leaning on somebody in your sphere of influence for their expertise on something that you need to know. So this person may be advising you and may even be helping you. I really get the sense that they're probably helping you with some type of skill that that you're going to need to know eventually. But for right now, as they're teaching you, I think they're helping you to utilize this skill in your life and especially in your career. Also, as far as learning style, crown chakra is highlighted. So that means communication with the divine is being improved during this time frame, and really getting information from that communication with the divine is being highlighted. Now, looking at communication style, I do feel like there's a lot of communication going on right now with a lot of different people in your sphere of influence, and I feel like the communication has to do with this idea of stability and building stability long term, about making some changes in your life as you do that, and maybe even to be able to do that. I feel like you are, picking somebody's brains about ideas about how to do that. And there may be somebody who has more or less taken you under the wing. This may be somebody who is some type of advisor or mentor who is helping you with ideas about stability. But I think that stability is a main theme during this time frame, and I do think you're communicating with a lot of different people about stability, or trying to set up some type of stability in relation to this whole stability theme. But, that's not the only thing you're talking about, but that comes up as a major theme during this time frame. Looking next at, at your work. You are collaborating with somebody at work, and I think you're feeling like, this person is micromanaging you or looking over your shoulder, or they expect you to report to them so much that it's making you really frustrated, and it's making you feel like you really are not moving forward very quickly. Ironically, even though you're feeling like that, I think that things actually are going very well. I just get this sense that you're feeling smothered. You're doing really well. I think the people looking over your shoulder are very happy with what you're doing. You're just not happy with being in that situation where you've got somebody looking over your shoulder every time you turn around. Okay, next thing that we're looking at, Capricorn, talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. It does look like you are getting over some kind of sadness or heartache or heartbreak. I feel like you're really tuning in to the divine and the messages that the divine has for you. I think that the divine is sort of guiding you as you're getting over this heartache or heartbreak. And this heartache or heartbreak is about somebody from your past. Does not have to be an ex or a lover, but it could be somebody from your past that's like that. But it doesn't have to be. It could be really anybody from your past that, there's been some kind of heartache or heartbreak around that, or around some type of situation with them, or some type of situation maybe even that they had. But I think that it impacted you, even if it was their situation. And so I do see you healing over this. So this is really awesome. I like it. Healing is always a good thing. Next thing that we're looking at does talk to me about those things that you stand for. So this is something that somebody has approached you and they've hoped for you to give them an explanation, or maybe they've even confronted you because they weren't too thrilled with whatever they perceived you as doing. So you're having a conversation with this person. You're defending or standing up for whatever the situation is. And it looks to me like there's something that has come back up from the past. I think this also happened for Sagittarius too. There's something that has come back up from the past that you thought was over, you thought had been taken care of, you thought had been put to bed. And this is some kind of long-term tension or debate that has come back up from the past. And I think that whenever it came up, even though it can cause tension, I think that it also brought you a payday. It brought you some good information about money or about material goods. And it gave you some really good ideas moving forward about things that you could do with this. So it looks like even though in the past it was a problem, and maybe it's still not completely comfortable, it has brought some good things whenever it came back up. Now, whenever you've talked to somebody about this or explained this to somebody, how they're seeing you is they're seeing you as somebody who's pretty unhappy, but that you're taking opportunities as they show up to you, and you're not paying attention to the disappointments. You're paying attention to the opportunities, and you're trying to give them and you are giving them a legitimate fair shake. That's how this person sees you. All right. Next thing that we're going to look at, Capricorn, is your flex period. So what happens during your flex time for this time frame? So flex is where you have something happen that sort of changes your perspective at least a little bit, which changes your trajectory. So let's take a peek. What's happening? So actually, I see you being very happy with how you handle a situation with somebody who has some resentments towards you. I think you managed to put up some boundaries between yourself and this other person, and I think that you're really happy about being able to do that. Excuse me a second. So sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so what else is going on during this time frame? It looks like you're spending a lot of time with your friends right now or with your support network. And it looks to me like, your self-esteem may have been taking a beating recently. And so hanging with your friends, hanging with that support network is actually helping you to rebuild that. And I think there's somebody that also is helping to rebuild that, is the idea that there's somebody that you're cutting off communication with, or at the very least minimizing communication with this other person, who's really been the one who has sort of given your self-esteem, a big flush, basically. Also, what's happening here, it looks to me like there's been some kind of fight going on with somebody who is very logical. They don't do things based on emotions. It's always based on logic, logic, logic. And I think that you are bringing that fight to an end. I think that you're just refusing to engage in that fight anymore. And you can see how frustrating it is for this other person, because they feel like as long as the two of you are still fighting, then they're winning. And so as you're not engaging anymore, that is creating a lot of frustration for this person. Where do we see you at the end of this time frame, Capricorn? Well, let's see. I do feel like you're in a situation where you're feeling really disappointed about some things that have happened. And there is somebody that you used to really enjoy spending time with, you just don't enjoy spending time with them anymore, because they've shown you your true colors. And I think that you're processing the disappointment over this, and really, as you're processing, just looking at trying to understand this situation and how it went the way that it did. Because I think you don't want to find yourself in this situation again. So I think you're looking at this as, what are the lessons I can learn from this, and how do I move forward without letting this happen to me again? So that's where we see you, Capricorn. Thank you so much for spending some of your precious time with me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you also for the thumbs ups and for sharing this video with others who may find it helpful as well. And of course, thank you for those of you who are booking private sessions and, either readings or Reiki sessions, and also Reiki candles, all that. All the support that you guys give me at every single level helps me to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you very much. Everyone have a great month, and if I don't see you for a private session between now and then I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.